How do people get morbidly obese? I have several family members that are morbidly obese. On both sides of the family. They notice. They care. But they haven't been able to stop it. One person managed to drop all the excess weight through diet and exercise hundreds of pounds. Then unfortunately gained it all back. It seems to be a complex issue. Started putting on weight made me feel guilty. Eating food makes me feel good. Eat food to make guilt go away. Promise to work out later. Get bigger. Think about working about. But feel ashamed at state of body. So don't. Feel guilty about not going out. Eat food to make guilt go away. Now even bigger. Less energy, so don't feel motivated to go out. Now doing very little. So get bored. Eat because bored. Feel guilty for eating due to boredom. Eat to make guilt go away. It becomes harder to move due to the weight and decreased stamina, but just as easy to eat. I once read that obesity is not an illness but a symptom, and I 100% agree with that. There is a complex array of behavioral, emotional, hormonal, neurological, and genetic factors involved. Saying they just don't care is inaccurate. When you're 210 pounds, what's another 10 pounds? When you're 220 pounds, what's another 10 pounds? It's a slow process that involves bad habits. Boogie2988 said that he was obese as a child because his mom had abandonment issues and overfed him on purpose to make him as undesirable as possible. And the habits that were ingrained in him from childhood continued to adulthood, and he just continued being obese until he got gastric bypass surgery. It's very, very hard to change how you eat. And having a calorie deficit can feel like you're starving no matter how much you weigh. If you watch my 600 pounds life, 90% of people say they were sexually abused as kids and ate to feel better and or get big enough. The attacker wouldn't want them anymore. 1. Food tastes really good. I don't think people understand how good it is to some people. 2. After a certain point of unhealthy eating habits, your body starts screaming at you that you're hungry even though you ate 2 hours ago. It takes a lot of willpower and discipline to say no. Willpower and discipline that some people don't have. Edit. 3. Evolution is a slow process. Our bodies are still designed to crave sugar and store fat because it's afraid we might starve to death. But technology is moving fast and processed foods are too much sugar and calories. Doing something bad to yourself normally means some kind of difficulty in stopping. Addiction and mental illness are common. And it gets worse as people delight in bullying the hell out of obese people. You try maintaining a good weight when you are shoved food and beaten or scolded for not eating. Losing the will to do anything from constant harassment, feelings of isolation, etc. Also, genetics play some part that is not totally understood. Food addiction is real. Same way people end up drinking 57 nights a week. They let things get away from them. A lot of it's depression and coping. I gained 40 pounds my last semester of college due to depression. It's taken 20 years to work it off. As a former morbidly obese person, everyone notices and cares that they are morbidly obese. A lot of it is addiction and an emotional dependency on food. If society tells you to hate yourself because you're fat and it works, you aren't exactly going to care about your life enough to try to lose weight. So I went for 220 pounds to about 300. I am 6 feet 3. I got injured and couldn't do my exercise of choice. I went idle and started playing video games. I got depressed and angry. I didn't change my diet. And the weight came on. I am not joking when I tell you I didn't notice. I didn't realize I was depressed, angry, or fat. All that mattered was completing the raid on destiny. Eventually, my wife came to me and told me I was angry and she wasn't dealing with it anymore. I needed to get back into a martial arts of some sort, or she would divorce me. I started training again, and now I am back down to 240. Hurt myself more. So I switched to walking and weight training because I learned my lesson from the last injury. I have seen some of my 600 pounds life. Every one of them has been through a trauma, and everyone has an enabler, partner, parent, or child, who cooks their food and brings it to them. Morbid obesity is caused by a complex variety of factors that can differ wildly among people. I think the folks referencing addiction in this thread are closer to the mark than others. I've lived with obesity since I was about 10 years old. I'm 57 now. What has been unbelievably eye-opening is my experience in the last few months taking Wegovy for weight loss. I've lost over 30 pounds so far. This medication is a game changer and stands to upend what we know about obesity. This medication normalizes the appetite and helps a person feel full faster and for a longer period of time. What's astonishing is how it takes away what a lot of us are calling food noise. That constant craving to eat. I don't think people who have never struggled with obesity have any idea what it's like. How exhausting it is to fight the noise all day, every day. To deal with being constantly fixated on what you're eating as you work hard to be healthy and lose weight and fail over and over. A lot of us on the medication feel like, wait a second, is this what it's like for thin people? They go through the day without struggling to not think about food. We feel that we have finally gotten to see what it's like for someone else without a weight problem. And you know what, people who never struggled with a compulsion to eat are not one bit better or morally superior than those of us who have. It's like how I might feel about someone who has an alcohol problem. Gee, why don't they stop drinking? I don't have the urge to drink until I pass out. So why should they? If you haven't experienced it, you don't know. I'm hoping that as time goes on, the awareness of the complexity of obesity improves and society can recognize the truth that being fat is not a moral failing. I'm currently morbidly obese. I've always been fat as long as I can remember, mostly from bad habits developed following childhood trauma. But I was still active as a kid and teen. As I got older, I became more sedentary as my life moved in different directions and faced different situations. Little things began to add up exponentially, leading to bigger, pun intended, issues. Do I notice these changes? Absolutely. Do I care? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. There are many factors that have influenced this, in both directions. Obesity is a very complex health issue. It can be harmful to oversimplify it to people simply not caring, though I am sure that is true for some. Most people at 350 can move around and still have a lifestyle. At least what I want to know is how the people 500 plus have enough money to even maintain that body weight, cause they ain't working. Binge eating disorders. Plus, you got a certain point, your insulin goes out of whack. Exercise becomes nearly impossible. There's a thing point that's hard to return from. 1. Family with very little money has children. Teaches them to eat what they can, in fear of malnourishment. 2. Children grow up with food scarcity mindset. Finish your plate before you leave the table. You need to keep eating so you can get big and strong. 3. Those now adult children have children of their own. Enforce their learned mindset onto their children despite having sufficient resources for groceries and healthy eating habits. 4. Their children begin to overeat consistently. Never develop a sense for fullness. Begin to use food as a source of comfort. 5. Addiction.
If you enjoyed this video, Please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.